Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. We made it through another week. This is your host, Crystal Jordan, with Rolling Out's Reality Check. And I am really excited about today's guest and the topic that we're going to be discussing. First of all, her career has spanned a decade. She's been consistent. We first met her at Players Club years ago. And if every guy you knew didn't have a crush on her, every girl loved her confidence, her strength, and her taking no BS attitude that she's had consistently throughout this time. We admire her beauty, we admire her tenacity, and now she's become a talk show host, bringing some of that authenticity that we all love from her so much. Please help me welcome the beautiful, the amazing LisaRaye McCoy.
Hi. I was just off screen thinking, I was like, well, I know we have technical difficulties all the time, especially because we're doing this virtual thing, but can you hear me? Everything's
I can
good?
hear you. You sound great. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Fantastic.
absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Before we get into all that, I know we're going to talk about the episode of Fix My Life, and I want to hear how it feels going from being in front of the screen to talking to other people and having conversation that you're doing on Fox Soul. But first of all, we got to say some words for DMX. We all learned that he passed after a tumultuous, few days of hearing that he had a heart attack and was on, I guess, on a brain monitor for a while, and people didn't know if he was going to make it or not. We did learn that he passed. So what are your thoughts on DMX? Did you ever had a chance to meet him and get to know him a little bit?
I met him in passing only. I fell in love with him when I first heard his voice. You know what I mean? That roughness, that raspiness, that commanding voice. You know what I mean? Because from Chicago, a lot of people say that, oh, you don't look like how you sound. And it's like, what does that mean? You know what I mean? But I have that kind of strength to my voice as well. You know what I mean? And so when you have that kind of power in your voice, people can misconstrue a lot of what you're saying because it's coming out like bam, but your heart is still good. And so from what I understood by watching his career unfolding in front of us, especially recently in the last couple of years of him battling an addiction and battling, doing the couples therapy and kind of thing, that is just to show us that he had knowledge of, hey, something's going on with me and I need to fix it. I need to be whole. I need to heal. And for that alone takes a lot of strength. First of all, because like you said, when you're behind the camera, you could be like, ha, 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 like a puppet. And it's like, I'm doing what they are telling me to do and asking me to do and what I'm getting paid to do. Right. But when you step out there to be that vulnerable to say, yep, there's some issues that I'm going through too, you got to listen. And what we have to do as a nation, we got to help. Yeah. And I hate that it was too late, and you don't want to mess with God's timing because God ultimately has the last say. Right. Definitely. But we lost a good one. And as we've been losing so many, and it's never easy to be able to hear that, I was glad I'll tell you this though, my hat's off to that ex-wife. Because that ex-wife rise to the occasion and she said, look here, let me show y'all what's going on the outside of this hospital. This is how much love and support that he has here. And she showed the world that. So for many of us to be able to get on board and say, oh, all of them are down there, let's rush down there to be able to pay our regards to him. Let's give him his flowers while he is still here. And unfortunately, he did not make it with us. Some will say that he's in a better place because now we don't have to deal with all of this anymore. And some would say, oh my God, I wish I still had him here because I'm not done with the making of memories, So yes, my condolences to the family and to everyone. He's a real one. We're going to miss him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what? I agree with everything you said. He was authentic, and sometimes those that are authentic, and I consider you one of those people as well, sometimes Hollywood doesn't really know what to do with you. It's like, they're real. They're real. He was just really an authentic person. I do
especially
love
when you show a different side of you. You show a different side of you that people are not used to seeing. It take a minute for them to grasp it. It's like, wait a minute, I didn't know she was like that. Like me doing my show Cocktails with Queens. No one has been used to hearing me talk so much. Usually I'm doing an interview because I'm talking about something specific, about a project that I'm working on, or a movie, or, something like that. But for me to be so opinionated, but I actually always have been. I've always had something to say about everything.
Well, no, I mean, I've been a fan for a long time, and I think listening to your interviews, I never had the idea that you were just the person that's going to shut up and say what we tell you to say. So I think maybe the rest of the world didn't know that, but your fans knew, like, she ain't with the games. She's going to be honest. So
that kind of got me a little bit too, because, when people kind of, drag you, as we say now, in social media, it's so easy for us to get on board of the negativity instead of giving someone the benefit of the doubt. And that's what I normally do, especially when I do Cocktails with Queens, because I've been a bit of an underdog and been misunderstood a lot. And so I try to play devil's advocate with a lot of our guests and give them a voice, give them opportunity to change perhaps what they said, because sometimes you can say something in a way in which you didn't mean it to be that. You meant what you said, but not for it to be taken out of content like that. You know what I mean? And that has happened to me because I haven't had a lot of time to add all of the narration to it. It's a snippet here and a little bit there, whatever. So I know how that is, so I tend to play devil's advocate a lot with a lot of people and try to do the lighter side of a lot of things, because we can be so angry. And I'm one to be able to say that I've been angry and mad and disappointed and guilt and
all
just
that.
end up with just stress, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, get up off me, you know what I mean? Kind of thing. And it shows, and it comes out sometimes when you go, oh, I'm sorry, I ain't mean that, you know what I mean? Kind of thing. But we're human. And I think that people are getting an opportunity to see that in me and in my healing process as well.
Yeah. Well, I that kind of leads us into the segue. I want to talk more about Cocktails with Queens, but you and DMX both were guests on Iyanla, and I think Iyanla fixed my life. And I think to be able to put yourself out there for the world to see, not just the actress and the pretty side, but to also see things that you're going through, first of all, it takes a lot of courage. And second of all, I think that it's courageous in the fact that that there are so many people dealing with the same things that never get that opportunity. So it gives other people a chance to see themselves through your experience, right? Either your experience, your mother or your daughter or whoever. So what made you and your daughter and your mother, what made you all decide to go to sit down with Iyanla Vanzant on Fix My Life?
I don't think that I tried to do it actually publicly. I think it just happened because what we realized is that we actually needed some help. What we realized is that whatever we had been doing wasn't working. What we realized is that we needed someone to show us a different way. And what we realized is that we was tired. I know I am. You know what I mean? Yeah. And when you camouflage, you suppress in front of the camera with what I do, it internally inside eats you up like a cancer. And so I go on like a robot and I keep moving and keep working and keep doing and keep doing. And then it's like, I'm about to crack up really, because I ain't getting no peace here. I ain't got no peace here. I ain't got no peace here. And y'all ain't giving me no peace either. You know what I mean? Eventually you're going to say enough is enough. Well, that's what we were saying. We were obligated enough to each other as family to say, yeah, we don't want this dynamic to keep going. We want to be able to have change. And I didn't know how to do it. You know what I mean? And so you're right. It takes a lot of courage to be able to say that and to be able to say it publicly and to be able to let everybody inside to ridicule you. You know what I mean? You leave yourself open for vulnerability for people to curse you, for people to come in and say, no, this isn't good, and you to go, oh my God, but I'm strong, and I'm not easily, folded. And I knew what the big picture was. And the big picture was for us to be able to break that generational curse. And what I realized doing Iyanla the first episode with the family was that I'm the meat between this sandwich here.
Right.
I am the breadwinner, you know what I mean? And that mom is old school and she, you gonna be that way, you know what I mean? And so for me, it's like, okay, then it will be me to do this. And I have to rise to the occasion because I don't want to pass it down to my daughter any more than I have, because I don't want her to pass it down to my granddaughter. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, knowing and realizing that Iyanla was a person that has been doing this for years. A lot of people don't trust her process. A lot of people don't even care for her and the way that she
Her
does
approach.
what she
Right.
does. But I can say this. It's tough. She's
Right.
hard. She's not going to be soft on you. She's going to bring it to you, give it to you. This
Right.
new episode of me going by myself, I knew when she called me and asked me, did I get all that I needed out of the first episode? The first time we went, I was honest. And I said, no, I
Yeah.
didn't. And if you can show me more and give me more, then yes. And I knew that if I went by myself, then all the focus would be on me. And I knew that if I can get everything that I needed, I could definitely bring it back home and work on that.
Your mom and
And
your
that's
baby.
that's what it was about. Yeah.
Nice. My grandmother used to say that she would say, when you get enough, you'll stop. When you get tired, you'll stop. So you just, we keep going until we get to that point. Was there something that happened that made you say, we got to get some help? This ain't gonna work no more.
I think the busier that I had become and the busy became busy work.
Yeah.
It became a way to escape. And I love my job because I already escaped. I already get an opportunity to entertain you all and to play pretend in these different characters that I do. But then when you come home and you're pretending too, and you're not having that peace nor enjoying the fruits of your labor, then you feel like the buck got to stop somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like, yeah, this is not. And then, from other people's story. When they're sharing their stories, just like I'm sharing my story now, their stories helped me as well. Because it made me go, oh, well, they did that. Well, let me watch. Let me see what was said. And then it made me go, well, why am I trying to do that in secret? Why is it, let me see. Why can't it just be, you know what? I'm a grown woman and I need some help. Yes, thank you. I'm here. Teach me, show me, tell me. Why can't it be that? Because I teach that myself. I tell that myself. I do that myself. And I can't have it for myself. That's not fair.
That's true.
That's not fair.
Was there a change when you guys did go? Because I thought that was powerful because it showed generations. And I think so much about our relationships with our mother shapes our relationships with everybody, especially other women and our daughters. So what happened when you guys went home with all that? Because she really, it was a really good episode because she was very honest with you all. Your mom reminds me, I think everybody can relate to that mom. She not with it. She's old
at
school.
all.
She should be as she should be. That it's a different generation. And then seeing what that had done to your daughter. And I tell people there is no handbook to being a parent. So we all, no matter what generation, we do something to our kids that is going to cause them to need therapy in some way. So what was the after? What was it like after the dust settled and you guys went back home?
It was attention. It was it's especially with my mom. Because you never want to make your parent feel like they're unwanted and unloved. And that was part of the issue because there was so much on top till you had to peel away and hey, the core is still here. The core of love is still here. We just got to figure out and find a way for that love to penetrate, for it to show up in a way in which you feel it. You know what I mean? And so making a conscious decision of being able to do that has been my work that I've done. And like I said, mama's old school, so she probably gonna go out like that. You know what I'm saying? So, everything, nothing her fault and everything is me. You know what I mean? And I think that's part of the stress as well, because it's like, it's not all me. It can't be all me. We have to take responsibility ourselves. So that's kind of hard, and it's still kind of hard. My daughter has grown. We have a plan for her. She has been looking forward to her future of flying the nest. You know what I mean? Getting out there and becoming that single parent that she is, that's even under my roof. But being able to do it under her own roof with her own rules is rewarding. I tell her that all the time. It's like, girl, when you get to your own, you can clean when you want to. You can leave your kitchen any way that you want to. You can wash as many times as you want to. And can't nobody say nothing. You'll feel liberation in that. You know what I mean? Because I do. Because when I come home, as soon as I hit my garage, I say, thank you, Father. Thank you for the fruits of my labor. Thank you for my cars. Thank you for my home. I got a roof over my head. Thank you that I can eat steak and lobster. Thank you for I can take care of my family. I say that by the time I say all 4 or 5 of those before I get to my kitchen. And I mean it. You know what I'm saying? But you got to still keep things in perspective. And sometimes things is unbalanced. You know, and I'm that typical Libra. Sometimes you can get with this, or you can get with that. You know what I mean? And I try hard to be able to do so. So I see how I have been handicapping my daughter and being able to allow her to have this sense of entitlement because, you know, I was spoiled. And I looked in the mirror and was like, oh, look at me. I turned out pretty okay. So you will too. But not everybody is the same. And you can't treat everybody the same way. Her mom is LisaRaye. You know what I mean? So you have this dynamic personality and you like, ooh, what am I going to do? Where am I going to be last? You know what I mean? And I know that she was struggling with that, but I didn't know how deep. You know what I mean? And I didn't really know how to help, but just aid and just go and do. You know what I mean? I got it. And not let her grow and find out herself. Because one thing I've been learning from Iyanla is that you got to have the valleys before you have the peaks and the mountains. The valleys is designed for us to fail, to make those mistakes, to grow, and to be able to know that you're going to find strength in that valley to be able to grow up. You know what I mean? There's no way around that. It is no way around it. You know what I mean? No matter how bad or how pretty you want to make it seem like it is what it is. You know what I mean? And so knowing that and knowing that it's okay, and I've been knowing it's okay, but knowing that I can have somebody come and help me and listen to somebody else, because at first you're embarrassed, first you're humiliated, first you can't believe it, you're in denial, you know what I mean? And then fourthly, you don't know how to connect all the dots to what is going on. And that is what Iyanla helped me do. She was like, did you know your daughter was broken? It was like, a little bit, but not this much, I don't think. You know what I mean? Tell me more. You know what I mean? Tell me what am I doing? Because after all, you do want to fix it. And that's where we are. And her show, Iyanla Fix My Life. Absolutely. Hands down. I will say this too. When I went there, my daughter too, she said, I just hope that she don't say anything that's going to make me just get up and leave. Because, you know, I know how I am. And, you know, she'll chip off the old block too. And I was saying the same thing. But I was praying underneath my voice saying, Lord, you know why we are here. You know why I came. Please don't let her say something that's going to trigger me or trigger anybody else that's going to make me get up, because I got to trust the process and I want to go through the process and I want to be able to sit there and take in what it is I came here for. And I did. This second one, she handed me my ass on the platter. She did. She broke me down to build me up. And sometimes you got to start all over sometimes, you know, and it's okay. And that's where I'm at. It's like, it is all right, girl. And I call her almost, I want to say every Tuesday, but I call her all the time and say, hey, I need a talking to, or, hey, I just said something and maybe, you know, you need to tell me what, you know, how I should have said it or whatever. And to be able to have a mentor, to have a person that is in your pocket. We used to back in the day call them divas. And they really lived up to their names as divas. Now we say divas and it's looked at as a bitch. You know what I mean? And so it's changed. But I used to always say for years ago, dang, I wish I had some older divas in my corner that I could just, you know, be in my ear to say, hey, you young now. You think you hot now, but this ain't going to always be. Slow down, think of your plan and your strategy, and let's focus. And then it's like, and you have somebody that you admire and respect. You're going to listen. Because for me, I tend to look at people that has achieved something. And if you've achieved something, your history is speaking for yourself. So I'm able to go, oh, well, yeah, she's been through some things. She kind of knows. She's a mother. She's a wife. She's an entrepreneur. She's a therapist, and she's a teacher. She's been there. And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, tell me. You know what I mean? But if you ain't been through nothing, you can't really hardly tell me at all. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm just glad to be able to have Iyanla in my life. Definitely.
Yeah. That's a beautiful thing. I wanted to ask you as far as your mom, because I can definitely relate a lot to that. But as your parents get older, you want to make sure that the time that you have left with them is pleasant, that you can love on them, and it can, you know. So how are you learning to kind of step away when she's like, you know, and still be able to love her, because you realize at a certain point, they're not going to change. And one day we will be the same way for our daughters. They'll probably be like, she ain't going, so
I'm
how
gonna try not to be that way. I'm gonna try not to be that way. That is why I'm doing the work now, because I don't want to be that way.
Yeah.
I don't want to pass that down.
Right.
And you're absolutely right. It's a thin line between, sharing and caring and them feeling it. You know what I mean? Because when you don't do it the way that they want you to do it, or the way that they're used to perceiving it, then they feel like it's not there at all. And then that becomes sad, and that becomes heavy, and then that becomes the guilt. And I don't want to live in that. So one thing Iyanla did say to me is, if you stand in your truth, the truth will set you free. If you know that you didn't mean it that way, and you know that you said it in such a way that was respectful, though, because it's just like what our mamas used to teach us back in the day. It ain't what you said, it's how you say it.
Yeah.
And so realizing that, it makes me know and tell her all the time, I love you. Yeah. I love you. So when she says to me, you're not the LisaRaye that I raised. You're not the same LisaRaye. And I go, no, I'm not. I'm a 54 almost year-old woman that has gone through her own growing pains, that is going through my own cancerous, dysfunction, that I am trying to find the balance in my life, because before there's anybody, there's me. And I have to be able to take care of me, because if I can't take care of me, I cannot spread it amongst anyone else. And so sometimes your stress don't look like my stress. And then therefore my stress doesn't look like anything, because you feel like yours is more stressful. You know what I mean? But no one is able to tell you what load that you can carry. You know what I mean? And that's why we question God, like, God, why can you get this up off of me? Because I can't carry it. And he is the one that's like, yes, you can. That's why I gave it to you. So we got to catch up to that and go, okay, well, what we really mean to say is, I really don't want this load. You know what I'm saying? I want you to take it, you know what I mean? Kind of thing. But it's still hard. I still trying to find the balance of that, because, when you have those arguments and then you gone because I'm off to the set, or I'm off dashing off doing an interview, then I've left her in the room confused about what just happened. I don't feel loved. But then now I look like I'm just gone and I'm busy. You know what I mean? I whisked off in Hollywood, kind of thing. Yeah. So it's still hard to be able to do so. She's still here with me. I still want to love on her. I still want to make sure that she is okay, because that's what I need to do as her child. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. And we're all doing that. My daughter has absolutely stepped up. And she is really, like, I've been in the bubble filming an awful lot lately. And my daughter has stepped up and been taking my mom to the doctor. She handles all her medicine. She knows about all of the side effects. And I mean, she knows more stuff than I do. And she has still her daughter here. And then she's working for me at my store at LR Home Styles. So we have a furniture and mattress line in the Beverly Center. So she's, managing that store. And, I just told her the other day, and I realized that we didn't communicate a lot. We just talk at each other and passing. And so now I just go in her room and just have simple conversation. And now I just get up on her and just love on her. And now I just tell her how I appreciate her and how I need her and how I love her. I appreciate what you're doing, because I know that you don't have to. Although this is a family business, you can opt to say, hey, this ain't the type of business that I want to be in. You know what I mean? But if you see the big picture and you see if you can benefit from this and our family can come together and collaborate on something, absolutely. Let's do that, because they do that. It's called Waskowski and Son. They do it all the time. I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to leave something back here for my family so they can enjoy the fruits of my labor while they're laboring their fruits as well in the future.
I like that.
That was good. That. Did you get that? Get into that.
You don't have to be able to take that soundbite. That was a good one. I want to get into, because I know you're an entrepreneur and you have so much going on outside of what people see. You just mentioned the furniture store. I had no idea about that. But before I go to the business side, I want to ask you another question. This may come up in the episode that we're going to see this Saturday on Iyanla Fix My Life. But I'm wondering, because a lot of the episode was about you and your mom's relationship, and there was so much pain that she had that she was putting on you because of the relationship with your father. I think that's something that women, it's hard not to get mad at the daddy and not share that with the daughter, even though you want her to take your side. It's wrong. Yes, men, we know it's wrong, but it's a very real thing. If you're hurt, you don't know where to put that hurt. But I wonder if you had a chance to figure out how that affected you in your own relationships with men, because you had a great relationship with your father, but he wasn't in a great relationship with your mother. So did you see that kind of playing itself out once you had a chance to sit back and look at that?
Yep. I understood a lot more. It was allowing me to connect the dots a little bit more. She shared some things with me in that episode that I didn't know. And she's been sharing more and more with me since she's been here in the house with me. That made me go, oh my God, I had no idea. So it makes me more sensitive to what she's gone through. You know what I mean? Absolutely. And I think that's all she wanted me to know is that, hey, I've sacrificed. And hey, I've given up a part of my life to allow you to be where you are, because I don't know where we would have been if she would have left my dad and we would have been on a minimal pay scale of something, you know, that she would have found to do. I don't know, you know what I mean? But I know that I'm appreciative because I had both of my parents in front of me. She definitely taught me how to be a woman. She definitely taught me how to keep house and to cook and to organize. And my dad definitely showed me how to be a businesswoman. Those two together has made me a well-rounded person. I like me. You know what I mean? And that's not to say that I can't improve or become better or have some change to do and some healing to do. You know what I mean? Obviously. But what it means is that it got to start with me liking me and picking those things that I like. So to answer that question, I did realize that even some of the men that I date, I tend to date the same type of men that my dad was. And not just meaning that they were the businessmen. I am attracted to power. I'm attracted to knowledge. I need to be able to have a solid, sound conversation with you about what our future gonna look like. You know what I mean? And because I already know coming into the bringing my whatever to the table, I already know what I've been accomplishing and doing and where I am in the relationship. You know what I mean? I need to know now where you are, and I need to know what we gonna do together. You know what I mean? And so for that, I like. You know what I mean? However, my father treated me like a princess. I was definitely spoiled. And I tend to, you know, if I can't have it my way, it's almost like, what you mean? You know, because, hey, I'm maintaining all of this. And I have a great lifestyle where I can do what I do for me the way that I do it. And it's pretty damn good because I'm pretty damn blessed. You know what I'm saying? So if you coming and you ain't trying to help or add, because see, to me, a relationship is an addition, is an add on, and it's not a subtraction. So I feel like what we doing here. And if you don't get the idea, the picture, I talk too much for you not to. You know, I'm out the gate gonna tell you what it is that I'm looking for. I got a man list. Here it is right here. I want you to get as close to this things as you possibly can. You know what I mean? I don't want to waste any time, obviously, because of my age. I'm not gonna be a notch on some guy's belt. That ain't happening. I'm not having no fuck boys. I'm not doing that. I'm too old for that. I am definitely looking for a companion. So with that, I'm not trying to, you know, waste no time. So I have to humble myself. Say to myself, what are some of those things on those lists that are deal breakers? And what are some of those things that you really gonna let go and let God handle? Because you really need to know that he is going to put that person in your life. Because if you keep trying to do it, you know that you have not been successful at it. So why don't you let someone else do it? And it's like, okay, you know what I mean? So I'm there too. You know what I mean? And sometimes, you know, who you may date may not look like what you think it is. You know what I mean? You know, sometimes you see a relationship and you go, well, how'd she get him? Or why you with her? You know what I mean? And they don't even look right in your eyes. What is that? But then it's like when you see a fat person, they jolly and they happy and they like, oh, and you go, she is this to be that. You know what I mean? You're like, what is that? You know what I mean? Why ain't happy just happy? You know what I mean? And so I'm learning to adjust to what is coming my way, give it an open, honest, value, opportunity, and leeway to be able to say, well, let me explore what this is, because the package may not always be what I think it should be, but it may be what my heart needs and what my spirit needs. You know? And so, but that is to say that he can't be successful because he needs to be that, because I don't want to stress anybody out by trying to keep up with me. And then, you know, rolling over yourself.
I think the success for you may be a deal breaker. He got to be extremely successful. We got that. But the rest of it, you know, do you want to
get married? He got to be God-fearing too. He got to be God because I need him to be a leader, and I need someone to lead him, and I need that to be God. So if you're the leader of our family, I need you to lead that way because I need to trust that because I'm newly baptized. It's been about 7 years now, and I promise you, when I got baptized, I felt like the devil had just came alive. It was almost like this is supposed to be easier, you know what I mean? But I really felt like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like he became heavy, you know what I mean? And so I felt like I was fighting off demons that was just like, oh my God, you know what I mean? Wow. But what it made me do is get on my butt to get on my knees. You know what I mean? And it made me talk to him and deepen my faith more and more. And to be able to spend that meditation time with myself and my own mind and my own thoughts to be able to know how to pray so I can be able to know how to talk to him and ask for what it is that I need to ask for, to know me.
Right. Do you want to get married again?
I don't know if marriage would be the label or title that I really need.
Okay.
I think that I'm looking for love.
There you go.
You know, I'm looking for companionship. You know, and whatever way that comes, if we want to get married, then have it. If we want to be just together and love on each other and be with each other that way, then I'm not sure about that because I already got with somebody and built their country and built their revenue. And left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not doing that anymore. You know what I mean? We're going to definitely build together. And I just don't know how I could be protected if we ain't married. So when I figure that part out, I'm going to get back with you on that answer. Okay.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, it sounds like you're open for love and you are ready to welcome that in. And so I believe that when we're open, it always happens. The right thing always happens. So I believe that will.
Okay. You said it now. She said it now.
Hey,
we'll say two or more come together. I'm going to agree.
2 or more agree. Yes, I believe that. I really do. I believe that when we are open and we really believe God does deliver. So we're going to check back with you because we know it's coming. But another thing you talked about, it seemed like just as soon as that episode aired, you there was an issue with your little sister, the brat that you talked about. Are you guys in a good space now? Are you in a better space? First of all, so many people, again, sisters. I never had a sister, so I used to always want one, and all the girls that had one, they were always, it was always like this. But I'm like, that's so special to have a sister, a little sister, a big sister. So understanding that family business is family business. But I think a lot of people were appreciative of the fact that you were like, no, this is real life. Like we've sisters in real life and my sister is not talking to me. That's the problem in real life. Forget what y'all see on TV. This is real life. So are you guys in a better place in an intimate space as sisters?
Let me say this. Because what people saw was shock.
Yeah.
I was shocked at what had been taking place anyway.
Right.
And when I realized that it was clear that, hey, wait a minute, it's been months. We ain't talked. And I see you got this whole new life, but I'm seeing it via social media, like the whole world.
Right.
And I would like to think that I'm a little bit more specialer than all of your fans. Right. Because I'm not a fan, although I am a fan, but I'm your fan. Right. So what's happening? Yeah. It's all what I was saying, and I think a lot of people, again, took that and ran with it. It was like, she don't owe you no explanation. She ain't got to tell you her business, and it was like, nope. Yes, she does. When you got something that personal going on, when you started a whole new life, yes, you do. Because you don't know just how much we share. You don't know how much our conversations mean to each other. You don't know how we get so caught up till we catch ourselves and go, oh, it's been 2 months. And our conversations are 4 hours long. Right. You know what I mean? Because we ain't caught up, because we done made life more important and we've been moving around. All I was doing was checking in like, hey, check in. Hey, I've been hearing this. Hey, I want to be on the same page as you are. So what's happening? Hey, I'm famous too. And they interviewing me as well. And it's things I don't know what to say. Hey, I don't want to overstep my bounds. Hey, you okay? Hey, you happy? That's all. Yeah. That's all. Because I've never been a meddling big sister. I've been always the big sister that is more motherly. You know, and a lot of my relationships have been that. And what she did say to me is she was just like, you know, you have a way of just being so there, you know what I mean? Till I wanted to do this on my own. I
Yeah.
really wanted to show you that I am grown and that
Mm-hmm.
I am taking control and I got this. I'm in a
Yeah.
happy space. And because I'm in a happy space, it was almost like, wait a minute, am I happy? I think I can share this with you and really
Yeah.
be able to say, I'm happy. And me go,
Yeah.
I see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because sometimes
Yeah.
when you in there, you live there, you kind of like, I don't know. And she said to me, she says, I didn't want to hear any opinion from you, whether it was
Yeah.
good, bad,
Yeah.
indifferent, because it matters. And
Yeah.
I did not want it to matter at that point in time in my life because I didn't want to hear anything from you right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I wanted to
Yeah.
report to you when I was ready. And that's what
Yeah.
she was saying. And
That's
she told me,
real.
you know, she said, I didn't mean to not call. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
even that, but it was just so much of where my happy space was that she was just blissful. And it was like,
Yeah.
you got lost in love and lust. I got it, girl. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I appreciated us having that call because here's the
Yeah.
thing. Had that not happened on Cocktails with Queens on my birthday,
Yeah.
maybe, my light went out. Maybe it wouldn't have
Yeah.
happened at all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so
Mhm.
for that, I have to be thankful that
Yeah.
I was not fake about it. Because
Mhm.
one thing's for sure, my fans was like, yeah, you had to know that she was not. I tried to hold it. If you saw, I was like this.
Yes.
Oh,
You
and
did.
for
You
about a
did.
good 3 minutes. That's a long time. You know what I mean? It was just like deadpan. And then she
Yeah.
said something that made me go, yeah, now I'm gonna
Yeah.
get
No.
you. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, but I'm that for a lot of
Yeah.
people. I've been a
Yeah.
mother for a lot of people and a she-roy for a lot of people. And
Yeah.
so when it comes to me, I'm like that big sister that's like, I got to roll my sleeves up and do what? With who?
Yeah.
To who?
Yeah.
I'm that because once you come to me, I'm a solution
It's
problem.
ready to
It's
go.
a person. It's like, hey, where we got to
Yeah.
be, you know.
Yeah.
And she was like, hey, we ain't got to be nowhere. Just bring it down. It's like, oh, okay, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I have that about me because that's that no nonsense side of me. That's like
Mhm.
Southside Chicago. Like
Yeah.
I'm sweet as pie. I'm
Yeah.
sensitive as hell and emotional as. But
Yeah.
you
But it's
can
the
flip that
Libra. It's
girl
the
and get that
Libra.
whole other side.
Yeah, it's the Libra. I'm the same way, and that nurturing side can be fierce at times. It's a fiercely
Mm-hmm.
nurturing, side to it. So that's good. I'm glad you guys are in a good space. And again, when people see things, regardless of the trolls, I think for other people, it allows them to look and see people that are in the spotlight and realize, oh wow, if they're going through that, maybe I need to reach out to my sister, or maybe I need to do that. It really is those examples, I think, that help people. So Cocktails and Queens, how has this experience been different for you? Actually being able to share your personality and to be able to speak on some of your peers. I always wondered, like, how is that? Does it bother you to speak on some? Well, you have spoke on some peers and it did not seem to bother you, but did not seem to bother you. But how has that been different for you at this point in your career than just being in front of the camera playing a role?
It's been quite different and a little confusing. I'm
Mhm.
working through that now because at first it was like, well, wait a minute, I'm making the shade room every week. Am I saying something that, that is just so, out of the norm here? You know what I mean? And then I realized that people are not used to hearing me talk so much. They're
Right.
just used to me doing interviews for
Yeah.
work that I've done. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But for me to have a show now that speaks towards the trending topics with our
Right.
opinions, people don't really realize that I'm a bit of a jokester.
Mhm.
I'm like this silly, fun person that likes to make light of everything. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Because once I do flip it to that other side, it is almost no coming back. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
We
I'm an
see that.
extremist. I'm either
Yeah.
this or I'm either that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Mhm.
so I play underdog a lot. And I happen to be the voice of the show that's like, let me ask those hard questions because
Yeah.
I know that if I'm watching an interview, I'll be sitting there going, ask the doggone question that you
Right.
know that everybody want to know. You
Absolutely.
skipping around it and you're not holding her accountable for answering the damn question. Ask the question.
Right.
That's who I am. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
sometimes the setup of that question is kind of like to lure you in kind of thing
Yeah.
to say, come on, this is the platform because this is what you signed on for to come
Right.
and speak your truth. Have at it.
I'm
You
on
know
with
what I'm
it.
saying?
Right.
So what I did with Kiki White, when we interviewed her after she had her rant with the radio personalities, I said, so what happened? And she talked about it. And I said, so what happened? And she said, and the producers was like, it's okay. Girl, answer the question. You know what I'm saying? So I'm that. And so when they actually said a couple of weeks ago or last week, no, it wasn't last week. It's a couple of weeks ago that I was a colorist. For me, it was like, how? You know what I mean? It was like, first of all, I don't even know that man. I don't know his show. I'm not a fan of his. I'm not supporting anything he's saying. I'm commenting on his privilege. I mean, not his privilege, his preference is what it was. Because when he said that, well, I don't want to go as dark as Serena Williams, but I can go as light as Halle Berry. I said, okay, boom, that's that man's preference. Preference. That's what he wants, you know. And we talked about other things that he said within the clip that we saw. But I knew that it was a bigger conversation. But for me, I just was speaking on that part. You know what I mean? And I thought it's really all of my fans, and I had 6 million across the board. I felt like truly my fans gonna know, because they know that I post this little brown sugar that I got, you know, of a grandbaby all the time. You know what I mean? And so I felt like, oh, this is some BS. You know what I mean? Like they trying to, here they go again. You know what I mean? Trying to pit us against each other on the inside. And I didn't think that we were gonna fall for it, because I was like, we got such a bigger fight to fight. Let's go start this on the inside. You know what I mean? You talk about light skin privilege. Are you kidding me? You have no idea how I think. Maybe you should ask me, and maybe it should be a bigger conversation on a bigger level. You know what I mean? And we only have such a little part of, you know, the show is, you know, we got to talk about this. We got to get this in, and it is produced. You know what I mean? I don't know that, but I understand the ins and out of the business. And so it is really up to me to be able to clarify, to be able to add more narrative and commentary to what it is that I'm saying, because a lot of people don't know me. They're really getting to know me on another level. You know what I mean? So that's why I do things like this and come back and say, hey, thank you for giving me an opportunity to share your platform for me to be able to come back and add more to what they saw and what they heard, because it's always more to the story. And that's all I was saying.
And I got to say, thank you for bringing that up. I was going to bring that up, but I appreciate you bringing it up. I have learned, just being a woman in entertainment and media, there's such, and just being a Black woman, there's so much deep pain that women have, especially. There were a lot of comments about that. And I think sometimes, depending on where you are in the spectrum, people may not understand what's a trigger for somebody else. And colorism, be it you guys show in that clip, because there were comments that I ask her about this, she may not understand that, to Ready to Love and dating shows where colorism it's a really deep subject. And I think for Black women, we are the only ones that can fix it. Black women are the only ones that can speak to it, because I don't think men have any clue what those kind of comments, when you say something like not as dark as Serena, but like they have no clue how much it hurts.
Let me add this to it. As much as people think that there's also women of this darker complected have their insecurities, there's a lot of light-skinned women that have insecurities as well. So one ain't no bigger than the other. And so when we talk about, we got on the young lady, I do not know her name. She has a song about being a red bone, and she was the baby's ex-girlfriend.
Okay.
I don't know if you know who I'm talking about. Hey, y'all know who I'm talking about? Y'all can help me out here. Danny Lay.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
And they talked about that. They got her. You know what I mean? And I said, well, what is the difference between her singing about who she is? Because we all know what red bone means. That is a light-skinned woman all day long.
All day long.
What's the difference between her saying that opposed to India Arie singing about brown skin? You know I love your brown skin. She's singing about her skin. What's the difference? And so
let me ask you this. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you what the difference is.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go back to something that Monique would say years ago. We know that people have issues with color, weight, all that kind of stuff. There's an unspoken rule, right? Because thin women or shapely women, everybody has insecurities. But if a fat woman is making fun of a thin woman, it's not looked at the same as if a thin, shapely woman is making fun of a fat woman. So if you saw somebody that looked like, and y'all don't come for me now, this is don't come for me on the show.
But that's why we got to have these conversations, and we can't be afraid to have.
But it's rich or poor. If a poor person is making fun, all those rich people of this, nobody's really going to say anything. If a rich person says, I can't stand for these poor people, it's like, and I think with colorism, because yes, Danny Lay did say that, and every rapper, I did a study to see how many rappers list red bones as a preference in their songs. But it's okay when men do it. When women do it, especially from that perspective of the more preferred, it is seen as hurtful. India Ari says brown skin. She's standing up for all the times that men say, I prefer red bone. So I think it's context. It's all context. And the only way we can get there is if we have these types of conversations. But I think it's an unspoken rule. You know what I mean?
Well, what about when 50 Cent said, I want something that looks exotic, like it fell off the boat?
We hate.
So he said he wants. Is that not his preference? Because we all know that he's had them all. We know that he's had all kind of different colors. But now that he's had all kind of different colors, does he not be able to say what his preference is?
He can say what his preference is, but if his preferences are rooted in intraracial like issues from slavery, which we all know we have, that's a problem to me.
But here's the thing. Just like brown-skinned women have that insecurity, and you see the light-skinned woman say, well, I'd have been in the big house with the master.
Yeah.
Doing what? Getting raped every damn night?
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
So now, which one is bigger or better or the worst? You know what I mean? That's what I mean by having a bigger conversation. Because inside of us and our diaspora, we are so many different colors. We're the only race that is that. So we should be able to have that inside conversation with us for them not to do that to us.
Absolutely.
Not pit us against each other where you saying now, I'm a colorist, I got light-skinned privilege. It's like, what, girl, I try to stay in the sun. Are you kidding me? With these freckles I got. You don't even know I got freckles. You know, there's a bigger conversation that needs to happen. But don't you dare try to point the finger. Give our people the mic. And what I meant by giving that some life and not supporting Lieberman, because I don't know him. What I meant by saying what I said was, let him have his voice. Let him say what he gonna say. Because if we don't let them say what they gonna say and we censor everything and everything is so sensitive, we not gonna know who is right next to us. Because Trump unveiled that racism long time ago.
Absolutely, that part.
Okay, so that's what I mean. It's a bigger picture of what it is. So don't just stop at the small stuff. I'm a leader. I don't need anybody to follow. I don't need the other girls to kiki and ha-ha with me and go, yeah, we all agree. I don't need that.
Right.
See, I believe that if I would have been back there when we always say, if I would have been back in the slave days, I wouldn't have picked no cotton. Yes, you would. You would have did everything that everybody did.
Absolutely.
But we would have. We got to have a Harriet Tubman. We got to have a Rosa Parks. We got to have a Martin Luther King, because they said, I don't care if you support me or if you understand what the fight is. I'm speaking to the people that understand and want to say they want to make a change. So if that's what it is, you come on along with me. He wasn't afraid because he wasn't with the masses.
Right.
He made the mass. That's what he did. And when I say mass, I mean MASS. He brought them together. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so that is who I am. I was on the front line of BLM when we was out there on the protesting and everything. I was out there in the midst of that pandemic, having to come home to my elderly mother and my grandbaby, taking a chance. But I wanted to use my platform to say, absolutely, Black Lives Matter. All while they started the narration of, well, transgender lives matter, and Latino lives matter, and Asian lives matter. And it was like, yes, we're not saying that y'all don't matter. We're saying Black lives matter, no matter what diaspora color that is. You fit in that category. So why are we trying to stand it apart?
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I appreciate you speaking. You preached for a while. That's okay. I love it. I love the preach. We had to get you in there to preach. But I know we're out of time. I thank you so much. This has been a great conversation. And I think that hopefully you guys will, we'll touch on that again, because when we're talking about women, and I want you to tell people about this show on Saturday, but this entire second segment of Iyanla is really geared towards women and healing women, and especially us as Black women. That colorism conversation is a painful thing, and we got to talk about it. We have to, as mothers, we have to. You are a red bone with a little brown skin baby. I am a brown skin woman with a red bone daughter who looked at me and said, well, mommy, is it okay if I like my color? And I had to say, it's absolutely okay that you like your color. You have to feel good about being your color. Yeah. But I have to let her know, but understand that if someone likes you just for that color, that's a problem. But you can be proud in who you are. So I think these conversations are healing, to us. And I thank you for your candor, LisaRaye. So let people know why they need to check out if they don't already know. If y'all can't already see why this episode is going to be amazing.
When I tell you, I'm surprised that I'm even able to sit here and talk to you this long, because I've been on set since 3:00 yesterday. I got home off of this project called Scarlet, which is, you all got to look out for that, because when I say it's a beautiful project, it's almost like you get one of those passion projects that's like, oh, everybody got to see this. But it's called Scarlet. But I got home this morning about 5:30. I started interviewing at 5:30 this morning, 2 hours in my car, just on the phone, back to back to back. Got in here, got into different hair and makeup, you know what I mean? And still talking and still doing. And this is what people don't realize and understand about our life, is that it's not just when you point the finger at us, but we're sharing because we're caring. We care. And I can shut all this down and I don't have to do no interviews, because I'm still going to do what I do. But because there is an underlying care there of my fans and the people that don't know me that I could potentially get as fans, because we're trying to spread that love. That's why we do what we do, even when we're tired. So I appreciate you. I thank you so much. And everybody out there that's listening, reading, and gonna know about it, thank you for giving that extra step, that extra mile, that extra opportunity of love, knowledge, and clarity.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You guys, please, please, please tune in this Saturday. Iyanla Fix My Life. You're going to kick the season off April 10th with an amazing episode.
A bang. A bang, bang.
Coming in hot. Thank you so much, LisaRaye. Please come back and tell us about Scarlet, and you have to come back again and tell us about all your amazing businesses. Where can people find out what you have going on if they don't know about the furniture and everything else?
My Instagram is everything. It's the real L Ray 1. We got our wonderful store, LR Home Styles, in the Beverly Center. So come on down and see us. We got every kind of thing you want to make your home styled by LisaRaye, and anything that you need it to be. So I would love to come back. So invite me back, and I'm coming back.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you on Saturday.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You know what? I didn't even know I was still here. I was still here for you guys. That was an amazing. I was totally not even aware that you guys were still here. Thank you guys for hanging out so much. What a wonderful conversation with a huge challenge. She is definitely one of our gems. Definitely check out the show on Saturday, April 10th. On OWN, I believe it's 9 p.m. Eastern. Definitely want to check this out. I didn't realize it was just LisaRaye by herself this time, without her mother and her daughter. But sometimes that's needed to kind of, she's the integral part in that family. So it makes sense that Iyanla would be focused on her. And I'm looking forward to hearing that. I hope you guys got something from that conversation. It's something that we just talked about, a lot of things that women, especially us African American women, really are dealing with, from dating and taking situations from our past and making them a part of our present, to parenting and not knowing exactly how to get it right and doing the best thing we can. I appreciate her candor. I think that all of us, if we're a little bit more transparent, can help ourselves grow and also can help other people. So as always, I love you guys. I thank you for tuning in with me tonight. Don't go anywhere though. I'm going to be back. I'm going to watch Ready to Love. We're going to be back at 10 o'clock for a whole new conversation with Jay Bradley from last season from Ready to Love. Please check out tonight's episode. There's going to be some huge surprises with this 4th season Houston. You guys, I'll see you right back here at 10 o'clock. Thanks for hanging out.